First session of 2020, and it looks like I'm going to have to batten the hatches because it looks bloody miserable. Ah well, let's see what the day brings, shall we? First session of 2020, and as you can see, I am hunkered down in the brolly because it is blowing a gale and absolutely chucking it down. I'm not sure if the microphone's picking up the rain battering off the umbrella, but it's definitely chucking it down. I'm fishing 3 rods. I have a eelhead, a trout and a pollen out. I've had to kind of pull back to the brolly because there's just, the wind's that bad. I put the unhooking cradle on the jetty and the wind was just blowing it off the jetty, so the pods had to be kind of screwed to the jetty. The bank sticks, the stage stands, they're screwed in anyway, but it's going to be a real test for the Nash butt grips that holds the bottom of the rods. So 3 rods out, cup of coffee in hand, I'm going to have a cigar. Let's see what today brings, shall we? Update. 1 dropped run. Not so bad this. It was on the trout. It made off with my trout. Struck in and I felt that it was off. So I have another trout on. Before the game anglers lose their shit. These are farm trout, these are rainbow trout. These aren't like from the river. I got a bit of abuse there online from the game anglers after the last vlog about the trout. A lot of them saying I should have just knocked it on the head and killed it because it'll probably die. I don't know about that. It swam off pretty strong. I mean, it's not what I was intentionally fishing for that day, so it was a bit of a surprise, like I said at the time. But the hook was taken out, it was held in the water till it recovered. It bolted off. Pike anglers catch trout, you know, unfortunately we catch trout by accident. None of us go out deliberately to catch them, but they're accidental captures. I don't know a pike angler, I certainly don't know a pike angler that's in like my social circle that would knock a trout of that size on the head just because it's a trout. That and it's out of season for them anyway, but it was just highlighting the attitude of some of the game guys. That's, oh, you should have knocked it in the head. That's a cracker of a trout. And my brain's going, but that's your brood stock. That's putting the trout in the system. Still blowing a gale. Still battering down with wind. Oh, and it looks like we're away. False alarm, false alarm. It was the wind. Ah well, you know it's the wind because all 3 rods were lighting up on the receiver box. But what was I saying? Oh, aye, trout guys. That trout was released. I wouldn't keep it. I don't eat trout, and I'm ashamed of some of the comments that were said. There were some comments I had to delete off the video. There were some other comments made by the same guy about the video where I took my little nephew fishing. I won't have racism and that sort of stuff on my channel, guys. I will not have it. And if you're that sort of comments, you know, or making that sort of comments and using that sort of language, then take yourself away. So that's the first person I think in fact it's the first person that I've ever blocked from my channel. I think it was just some troll with with nothing else to do and too much spare time. But when you're referring to a teenager's, physical appearance, or the fact that he has braces, or stuff like that there, or that he was maybe a bit unsure of picking up the fish, bearing in mind it's the first time he's ever seen a pike. Well, that's the second time he's ever seen a pike, the one that you're seeing him holding on the cradle. I don't like that sort of stuff. That's tantamount to bullying, and I do not like bullying. So let that be a warning to everyone that's watching the vlog. If you want to come on it and, you know, criticise me, by all means criticise me. I can take constructive criticism all day, but if you're just on to kind of make disgusting remarks, you know, then take yourself away. Anyway, looks like it's going to be a good day. If the wind would just die down a little bit, it looks like it's going to be a good day. I can now see the island that's in front of me. I couldn't this morning because it was that heavy with the rain. So I think it's time for another cup of coffee, and then I'm going to stick my baits, some of my baits with the new trout I put out, full of oil. Right, time to give the fish some bait, some medicine. That's eel, that's mackerel, that's salmon. But as we're doing the, oh, that'll be alright. Let's do the trout first. I've already had a drop run on this. It made off from a bait, so let's see what we can catch with a fresh trout full of oil. Right. Zebra mussels. This is why you have to check your hook points, guys, because the zebra mussels are awful tough on them. Again, be careful when you're injecting bait into oil into bait. Let's go and chuck this little boy out again. And we're on the bottom. Ready to go. Pretty simple. Oh, that's dropping back. Where did that drop back? Must have been the wind. You want your drop arm kind of sitting almost level with the reel. I know that's sitting just a bit down, but so that when the pike picks it up, the drop arm moves up or either moves down. You'll see there's plenty of room for that arm to move down, but there's also room for it to move up. So if the pike picks up the bait and moves, your drop arm will run up and unclip, and then there'll be free line. But that little bit of tension of it moving up gives the line the little bit of tension to run through the sensor on the alarm, and that means that you're getting your bait kind of you're going to get notified by your alarm. Let's turn that off. Right. Eel head. Again, be careful what you're injecting. Make sure there's no want to be fishing kind of straight out here, but the wind will take it, so we'll cast straight out, or as straight out as we can. There we go, and that's it on the bottom. Now we just want the line to kind of, there we go. I fish with a tight line to my lead. I've always fished with a tight line to my lead. I see a lot of carp guys that are new to pike angling coming into the world of pike angling and fishing with slack lines. That's a bad idea. Slack lines mean the pike can pick up your bait, and you don't have any indication that the pike have picked up your bait. I think I've put this as into weed or something. Right, this is the pollen, and then I'm going to stick it full of mackerel oil just for a change. Pollen float, so you don't want to inject anywhere around here, because this is where the swim bladder is. You want to inject in this portion here or in the head. So easy trick, if you go in through the rear of the fish and just press down and then cover the arse, you'll see that there's oil in there now, and a couple of little holes in here. We'll soon have the oil coming out. Right. That's on the bottom too. You want to sink your line as quick as you can, because it acts like a wind anchor. Now, I'm not sure you can see that, but this rod here has a slight bend, but it's bait, the lead's over there, and this rod's kind of straight tits bait. Again, keep the lines as tight as you can without pulling the bait arm, without pulling the that one in. Now let's see if the oils are going to jazz up the baits a wee bit, and we can get a pike on the bank to show you. Aye. I get asked how to demonstrate a rig that's useful for fishing with live fish. Now, caveat time. If you're fishing in Northern Ireland or the Republic of Ireland, then the use of live fish is a no-no. So, yes, up to yourself. If you get caught, you could lose your truck, you lose your gear, you could end up in bother with the authorities. So, with that caveat out of the way, I'm going to go through a rig that I would use for live fish. First of all, we start with our trace. This is the hook trace, and as you can see, it is quite short compared to the ones I normally make. This is 12 inches. It's got two owner hooks, standard as I normally make them, 45-pound wire, big rubber sleeve, and it's to a clip. Now, these are clips made by Gemini, that's sea fishing stuff, so it's pretty strong, that's not going to pull out. That's your hook trace. that you would clip your bait to. You use what's called an up trace. You would have your length of mono tied to your up trace. It could be, this is about 5 foot of mono, so that the bait will be tethered 5 feet off the bottom. Let's pull it all apart here for you. Oh, that's the wind, I can see it. Here we have a Fox Rage helicopter rig for pike and a little rubbish crimp. These crimps are designed for mono, so they will crack if you push them too hard. All that crimp is there to do is to keep this from sliding up the line or up the up trace. And then that rubber sleeve obviously goes over it, and that rubber sleeve covers the bottom. So it's all covered in rubber sleeves, but the swivel can move around freely. You then have 3 foot. I have 3 foot of 100-pound surf strand, AFW surf strand. Why do I have a 100-pound surf strand? Well, it's quite stiff, it stands off in the water, it doesn't really kink, and I have had baits on this to just run about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds, and this is able to stand up to their abuse and the pike that's taken it. Surf strand is a very, very underused wire from American fishing wire. It's mostly used for the conger guys, the sea fishing guys, but surf strand is actually brilliant for normal pike fishing. As you can see, it's just a normal brown uncoated wire that isn't really that thick for its strength. You just crimp it or you can twist it, but cracking wire, brilliant. You can also use solid titanium for this rig, but that's expensive. This isn't. The end of this will be tied to your rod. There'll be a sunken float. I did have one sitting here, and I've dropped it, but there'll be a sunken float attached on here and kept in place on the line with a couple of stop knots or rubber sliding stops, and this will basically keep this up in the water. This will be 5 foot plus 3 foot, so it'll be 7 foot, 8 foot. Sorry, basic math. This will be kept 8 foot off the bottom. So your bait is on this little tether. Your little trace gets clipped on, dead nice and easy. You use this little rubber sleeve to go over the swivel a little bit, and there you have it. This will spin around the trace without getting caught on either the mono, the rotten bottom, or your up trace. For your leads, for live bait fishing, don't be afraid to use heavier leads. You want that bait anchored in a position. You don't want it moving. You don't want your bait fish to pull the lead out of position. So using leads that's 4, 5, 6, even 7 ounces isn't uncommon. Unfortunately, with leads that are 7 ounces, you're not going to be casting these. If you're needing a 7-ounce lead to hold your bait, then you're fishing with a bait that's getting close to 2 pounds. That's the wind again, taking my bait, taking my line. If you're fishing with a lead that's maybe 6, 7 ounces, then you're using quite a big bait. Those big baits need to be kept anchored in position for the pike to take them. You want to have, remember, you need to use this and have bite indication. So you're going to want as tight a line as possible to this rig. So this will sit on the bottom like this, it'll sit straight up, and then your line will go to your rod. Well, when you tighten the line to the rod, the rig's going to pull down a little bit. So your baits can swim around your line without having a problem, but this is a straight line that's tight to your rod. So if the pike comes along and picks the bait up and dislodges the lead, you're going to have a drop back bite first of all, and then it tends to just rip off and disappear. But that's how I fish with a live bait. Now again, caveat time, Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, you are not allowed to fish with live bait. Take that as you will. Any more questions, guys, leave them in the comments below. Cheers. I'll put a diagram on the video now so you can see what I use the sunken paternoster rig in more detail, you can pause the video and if you want to take notes. Forgive the drawing, it's rather crude, but I don't have a fancy art package on my computer. It's the best I can do. It's not looking like it's going to get any camera out there. The wind will die down for just a second and the next minute it's just a big whoosh. So it's definitely a day that's the brolly is useful. We're getting periods where it's nice and bright, and then it'll just switch dark as dark clouds pissing with rain. So they seem to be coming in waves, which is unusual. Usually the wind's heading that way, and it's heading that way today. So it's a bit strange. You know, it's a bit weird. The wind's kind of all over the place at the minute. Little heads up with the channel. Myself and Northern Ireland Carper, NI Carper, I'll put his link in the description below. That's the wind. You can see the bobbins aren't moving, it's just the wind. Myself and NI Carper are having a bit of a race in 2020. We're having a race to see who can add 5,000 subscribers to the channel. Now, it's purely for a laugh. The side bet, so to speak, is a bottle of booze, you know, of the other person's choosing. We've talked about this a couple of times in the vlogs. It's just a bit of a laugh. It's just something for fun. You know, nothing wrong with having a glass of whiskey if it's your thing, or a glass of gin if it's your thing, although why anyone would drink gin is beyond me. Ugh. Nothing wrong with nice whiskey and cigars, all moderation and all that sort of good stuff. So that's the plan for 2020. Get 5,000 subs on the channel, do it faster than NI Carper, and then enjoy booze at NI Carper's expense. If you've watched this and you've already subscribed, then feel free to share the videos out. You know, put it on your Facebook, get your mates to subscribe too. Bit of a laugh, and I look forward to drinking some nice Scotch whisky at somebody else's expense. Cheers, guys. My trout rod's been pinging off here. I think it's because they have the sensitivity switched, so that it has to move 6 inches. No, the sensitivity is the wrong way. Move the sensitivity up to 6 inches. That way it'll take into effect the wind. The drop arm is pretty much level with the reel, so it's not going to go anywhere. Normally I have the bail arms here always pointing up to the rod, just in case some freak accident like the pike will snap it out. Maybe if the mono can curl around the bail arm, maybe it stops it up for a bit, causes a tangle. So just keeping the bail arm up in the air stops that risk. Only reason I do it is because I've had it before and I nearly lost the rod. As you can see, it is still very windy. We've had a little bit of clear, but no rain. And look what's coming toward us. Lots of rain. So I had to move the landing net and put it over that bollard, because the landing net was kind of moving sideways. I don't want to have to go swimming for a landing net. Oh. Still, there could be worse places. You could be sat at work. Instead, I'm out here in the great outdoors, getting blown off my feet and rained on. Oh, joy of joys. Well, troops, it looks like today is not the day. It's just gone 2 o'clock. We've about maybe 3 hours of light left, and the loch is whipping itself up into a froth. I've just spoke with one of my friends. He's on the upper, he's on his boat, and apparently it's like a washing machine as well. So first session of the year will have to be chalked up to as a bit of a bust, but unless something happens in the next couple of hours, but it's looking a bit grim. So, how did your New Year's Eve go, guys? Mine was pretty quiet. I had a bit of a party in the flat where I live with the wife. We drank beer, chilled out, and brung in the bells. It's 2020, hard to believe, 2020. I don't particularly have any goals for 2020 or any aspirations for 2020. I'm not doing sober January. I'm not doing vegetarian January or vegan January or any of these fads that I keep getting asked on Facebook. No, I'm not going to do the keto diet or the carnivore diet or whatever else. I'm going to continue the same old routine that I normally continue. I'm quite happy being me. Oh, I mean, okay, fair enough. New Year's resolutions can be good for some people. People can say, I want to lose weight, and if it's successful for you, then well done, fine. I'll give you a pat in the back. But when it starts to come and get kind of preachy and push in your face, no, you can piss off for that shit. And a couple of people that should have really known better, trying to push sober January, and they didn't quite like being told to piss off. I quite like whiskey. I quite like having a glass of whiskey, you know, on a Friday night after a tough week at work, and relaxing and chilling out with a good fine quality whiskey. I quite like having a cigar. It's not like I buy, you know, £100 cigars every week. You know, if I got hold of some decent Cuban cigars, I'd be quite happy to kind of maybe smoke 1 or 2 a month. Little vices. It's not like I'm, you know, not paying the rent just to fucking buy cigars and buy booze. Anyway, I hope all your 2020 resolutions are easily obtained for you. I seen a great quote. One of my friends done a great quote. You know, talking about let's go out and party, and you know, let's not add to the prison population, but let's not subtract from the general population. In other words, don't kill people and don't get arrested. It made me chuckle. I couldn't do that. I don't have a wee message like that myself. I couldn't do it as funny as him. Oh. The rain's rolling in. I want to make another cup of coffee. I might even have a cigar. Welcome to another exciting episode of Cooking with Scobes. Today we are cooking this. It is a Rustler's flame grilled cheeseburger. There's probably no meat content in this, so I suppose in a way I could be doing vegan January. just to satisfy you weird people. First of all, how do we turn this into something edible? We take it out the wrapper, remembering, throw away the litter, don't leave it at your ass. We take away the burger, we leave the cheese and the sauce that it's provided. We don't eat that cheese, it's nasty, bad cheese. We then get some nice quality cheddar. They do these nice pre-sliced packets of cheese for handiness. We're going to take 2 slices. I'm going to put a slice on and a slice like that, just to get the cheesy goodness. Well, then I'm going to take our sauce. And this is Kansas City barbecue. We're going to put a good swig on the top. Place our bun. And then we need our tippy monkey. So we have the tippy monkey. Take the bottom bread off. And again, some sauce. Sauce is good. It makes it edible. Bun. So there we have it. In the tippy monkey. I mean ridge monkey. Then we just have to close it down. And put the little clasp on it. Now we put this on our stove. On a low heat. Now I'm using a Coleman petrol stove here, so a low heat isn't always easily obtainable. And to stop it tipping, I've utilised my kettle to hold up the handle so it won't tip. Because if there's nothing there, it'll tip off the cooker. That is the smaller ridge monkey. The larger one broke on me. We did talk about it on another vlog where the pins that held the 2 pans together snapped. So that one has now found its way to the bin. And I'm back using the small original one. I am on the lookout for another toasty maker that's like that. I've seen an NGT one that looks quite good. And it looks like 20 quid on eBay. So it looks like it could be the next purchase for me. For the cooking, probably will be the next cooking purchase for me. Because this meat in this burger is kind of apparently already cooked, we're just going to heat it through. You want to heat it through enough so that the bread, the buns toast, the cheese melts, and the meat inside is warm. Don't want to eat it cold. It's horrible enough at the best times. You want to eat it warm. Remember, do not use the cheese or the sauce they provide you. The cheese in here is just awful. And this sauce is Kansas City barbecue. It's apparently mild, which is nice. It's just a nice kick. Nothing too serious. I do have their buffalo wing one, and it's quite nice, but it's a hot. Well, it says hot in the tin, but it's not hot. If you like hot food or spicy food, then you're going to be a bit disappointed. It's just like a tangy ketchup. You know, I used to kind of really enjoy hot food when I was living in England. Used to go to like the different Indian curry houses. Used to love Indian curry. You know, things like vindaloos and madras. And a wee story. I was a 19-year-old idiot. I joined the armed forces as a 19-year-old idiot. Went to London as my first station out of the training cycle, and got into the rugby club. I was quite good at rugby. Went out on the piss with the rugby guys, and I'd never been to a curry house before. And blind drunk, they said, "Oh, we'll order you something, Scobes. You'll like it." It's like, okay. And they ordered me a chicken fowl, which apparently is the hottest curry that you've ever going to eat. And I was that drunk I ate the whole thing. The next couple of days I suffered quite badly, but I ate the whole thing. I think it was more stupidity and alcohol that made me eat it. I've never tried it again, and I've no intentions of trying it again. But foul, really hot, stupidly hot. I watch these programs like the Man vs Food, and they do like the Ghost Chili Wing Challenge. I'm going to turn this over. Ghost Chili Wing Challenge. In India they use ghost chilies powdered up to keep the elephants away from the crops. So it's probably not something you should be eating. Although I have had ghost chili vodka. That was quite nice. I suppose maybe it's not that bad after all. This won't take that long. It'll take a couple of minutes. So I'm going to switch you off and let this cook, and then I say cook. Let it warm through, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's ready.
A few moments later.
A burger with some nice cheese, some epic sauce, that's cooked-ish through. Again, I'm not going to win any awards from Gordon Ramsay, but it's enough to keep me edible or keep me filled up in a cold day. Just have to have a cup of tea now. Yeah, the old ridge monkey does have a tendency to fall over at the slightest thing, so having something to hold the handles up is important. Anyway, there you have it. Another exciting episode of Cooking with Scobes. It's just gone 4:30. We're rapidly losing the light, so we should be coming into like that point of the evening where the fish are starting to switch on. It's been slow, one dropped run all day. I hope this isn't a bad omen for the rest of the 2020 season. But first day out this year, it's rained pretty heavy, it's blew a gale. Again, like I said, it's better than being sat at home scratching one's balls. But I think I'll give it an extra half hour just into the dark, and then I'll slow pack up and take a drive home. Weather-wise, it's calmed down a little bit. Let me just see if I can get you guys to see out there. I'm not going to take you out into the dock because even with new microphones and crap like that, it's just going to be stupidly windy. But anyway, got some fresh air. Got to enjoy the little things, I guess. If there's anything in the next half hour, I'll switch the camera back on and show you. But if there isn't, well then, until next time, troops, tight lines. Bit of a long-term review here for you. This is the Endurance Essential Camping Light. I've had this for a long time. It takes four batteries. Big fat 4 D-cell batteries. Clips in. And there you go. It's got a progressive. The further you wind, the more it illuminates. It's not going to light the world on fire. It's not going to light up everything for you, but it's enough light just so you can keep what you're doing kind of easier if you're in a bivvy. I think it was like under £15, and I think I got it from Neville Fickling's Gainsborough tackle shop. I'm not sure, but either way, a handy little light for low light conditions when the night's just about coming in. You have something like that there just to keep the just so you can kind of see what you're doing in the lowest light conditions. Wasn't expensive, but it's lasted me an absolute lifetime, so well worth the 20 quid.